Can everyone please rise for Guru Puja? Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagati Sadma Kevala Bhagati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagati Sadma Kevala Bhagati Sadma Bando Moy Savadana Mate Yara Prasade Bhai He Bhavatori Achai Prasade Bhai He Bhavatori Achai Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoya Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Shite Te Koriya Kya Vakya Shite Te Koriya Kya Arana Koriyo Mane Hasha Arana Koriyo Mane Hasha Shri Guru Charane Rati He Se Uttama Gati Nerati He Se Uttama Gati Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Ye Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Jakudan dilo che janme Prabhu se Jakudan dilo che janme Prabhu se Divya Nitre Prakashito Deve Gayatri Prakashita Prema Bhaktiya Te Avidya Vinashagate Prema Bhaktiya Te Avidya Vinashagate Vedegaya Haracharito Vedegaya Haracharito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janala Bandhu Lokena Lokera Jivana Lokena Lokera Jivana Aha Prabhu Karadoya Deho More Pradachaya Ah Prabhu Karadoya Deho More Padachaya Ebe Jasa Kushu Tripuvana Ebe Jasa Kushu Tripuvana Aha Prabhu Karadoya Deho More Padachaya Aha Prabhu Karadoya Deho More Padachaya Ebe Jasa Kushu Tripuvana Ebe Jasa Kushu Tripuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Asityaji Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Radha, Radhanath, Radha, Radhanath, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo.
Vishnu Bhat Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Asotara Sata Shishabad Abai Charanarvinda Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Yavacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinata Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri David Vipdam Ki Jai Shri Ganga Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Sama Veta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Radharat Ki Jai Shri Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Ishkad Father Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glorious to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glorious to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glorious to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glorious, all glorious, all glorious. To Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Gaura Premadade, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Sunday Love Feast program. If there's anyone joining us here today for the first time, an extra special warm welcome to you. So the next part of our program is a class, and our speaker for today is Her Grace Krsangi Radhe Dasi. So for this part of the program especially, we humbly ask you to please remember to turn off your cell phones completely or to at least have them on silent mode so we can fully focus on the class. So Her Grace Krsangi Radhe Dasi is a disciple of His Holiness Indadumna Swami Maharaj, and she has been fortunate and blessed to have been raised in ISKCON, especially with her parents being founding members of ISKCON KZN. Mataji is an educator in the public sector, and she's also a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, and she's a certified mindset coach. She's also the minister of the Vaishnavi ministry in ISKCON South Africa, and she's the director of communications for ISKCON South Africa. And for Sri Sri Radharadhanath Temple, she is our PRO. So Mataji's topic for today is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, a ray of Vishnu. So let's welcome Her Grace Krsangi Radhe Dasi. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I've got some kirtaniyas with me, but we will attempt, and just waiting for some kartals. Welcome to the Sunday Love Feast program here at the Sri Sri Radharadhanath Temple. It's always wonderful to be in the association of devotees and in the presence of their Lordship Sri Sri Radharadhanath, the founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So may I invite you to join me as we evoke auspiciousness, as we speak, as we try and offer some words of glorification to His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jaya Gopi Janhavallabha Girivardhari Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhanata Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Nittai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please will you repeat after me? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this afternoon we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, which is a diary version of Srila Prabhupada's lifetime, those important aspects of Srila Prabhupada's life, and that's volume 1, chapter 3, and the title is A Very Nice Saintly Person. And to put you in context, I will not read the entire chapter. We will just read some excerpts from there and then expand. To put you in context of the title itself, we have on our screen His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And the title does refer to this very nice saintly person. And you may be wondering, who is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur? And we may have a general idea to say, yes, we know Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and he was the guru of Srila Prabhupada. But ultimately, do we understand the depth of who Sarasvati Thakur Goswami is? And today we hope to touch on just a little bit of the saint, this Acharya within the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. So to begin with, there's a quote by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. I quote, there will not be such benefactors of the highest merit of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees have been. The offer of other benefits is only a deception. It is rather a great harm, whereas the benefit done by him and his followers is the truest and greatest eternal benefit. This benefit is not for one particular country causing mischief to another, but it benefits the whole universe. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. So the chapter begins. Abhai's friend, Abhai refers to the founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So of course this reference of Abhai was before his initiation. Abhai's friend Narendra Nath Mulik was insistent. He wanted Abhai to visit a sadhu from Mayapur. Naren and some of his friends had already met the sadhu at his nearby ashram, and they now wanted Abhai's opinion. Everyone within their circle of friends considered Abhai a leader. So if Naren could tell the others that Abhai also had a high regard for the sadhu, then that would confirm their own estimations. Abhai was reluctant to go, but Naren pressed him. They stood talking amidst the passerbys of the crowded early evening street as the traffic of horse-drawn ox carts and occasional auto taxis and motor buses moved noisily on the road. Naren put his hand firmly around his friend's arm, trying to drag him forward, while Abhai smiled and stubbornly pulled the other way. Naren argued that since they were only a few blocks away, they should at least pay a short visit. Abhai laughed and asked to be excused. People could see that the two young men were friends, but it was a curious sight. The handsome young man dressed in a white kadhi kurta and dhoti being pulled along by his friend. Naren explained that the sadhu, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, was a Vaishnav and a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One of the disciples, a sannyasi, has visited the Malik house and invited them to meet Swami Bhaktisiddhanta. A few of the Maliks had gone to see him, and had been very much impressed. But Abhay remained skeptical. "Oh no, I know all these sadhus," he said. "I'm not going." Abhay had seen many sadhus in his childhood. Every day his father had entertained at least 3 or 4 in his home. Some of them were no more than beggars, and some of them even smoked ganja. Gaur Mohan had been very liberal in allowing anyone who wore the saffron robes of a sannyasi to come. But did it mean that though a man was no more than a beggar or a ganja smoker, he had been considered saintly just because he dressed as a sannyasi or was collecting funds in the name of building a monastery or could influence people with with his speech? No. By and large, they were a disappointing lot. Abhay had even seen a man in his neighborhood who was a beggar by occupation. In the morning, when others dressed for their work with their work clothes and went to their jobs, this man would put on saffron cloth and go out and beg. In this way, he earned his livelihood. But was it fitting that such a so-called sadhu be paid respectful visits, and if he was a guru? So the chapter goes on in terms of describing Abhay's reluctance to meet this sadhu that his friend Naren had actually asked him to. So they went, eventually they got there. When they inquired at the door, a young man recognized Mr. Malik. Naren had previously given a donation and immediately escorted them up to the roof of the second floor and into the presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, who was sitting and enjoying the early evening atmosphere with a few disciples and guests. Sitting with his back very straight, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati appeared tall. He was slender, his arms were long, and his complexion was fair and golden. He wore round bifocals with simple frames. His nose was sharp, his forehead broad, and his expression was very scholarly, yet not at all timid. The vertical markings of Vaishnav tilak on his forehead were similar to Abhay, as were the simple sannyas robes that draped over his right shoulder, leaving the other shoulder and half his chest bare. He wore tulsi neck beads, and the clay Vaishnav markings of tilak were visible on his throat, shoulder, and upper arms. A clean white Brahmanical thread at his throat, shoulder, and a clean white Brahmanical thread was looped around his neck and draped across his shirt. Abhay and Naren, having both been raised in Vaishnava families, immediately offered prostrated obeisances at the sight of the revered sannyasi. So then there's a discussion between Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, Naren, and Abhay. Abhay could hardly believe what he had just heard. They had not even exchanged views, yet the sadhu was telling them what they should do. Sitting face to face with Swami Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, Abhay was gathering his wits and trying to gain a comprehensible impression. But this person had already told them to become preachers and go all over the world. Abhay was immediately impressed, but he wasn't going to drop his intelligent skepticism. After all, they were assumptions in what the sadhu had said. Abhay had already announced himself to be, by his dress, to be a follower of Gandhiji, and he felt the impulse to raise an argument. Yet, as he continued to listen to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati speak, he also began to feel won over by the sadhu's strength of conviction. He could sense that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta didn't care for anything but Lord Chaitanya, and that this was what made him great. This is why followers had gathered around him, and why Abhay himself felt drawn, inspired, humbled, and wanted to hear more. But he felt obliged to make an argument to test the truth. So Abhay Charan, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, now being all skeptical about meeting the sadhu, decided now I want to test him out. He was already impressed. Drawn irresistibly into discussion, Abhay spoke up in answer to the words Bhaktisiddhanta had spoken in first seconds of their meeting. Who will hear your Chaitanya's message? Abhay queried. We are a dependent country. First, India must become independent. How can we spread Indian culture if we are under British rule? So we all know the history of India and the colonialism and so on. Abhay had not asked haughtily, just to be provocative. Yet his question was clearly a challenge. If he were to take the sadhu's remark to make them a serious one, and there was nothing in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati's demeanor to indicate that he had not been serious, Abhay felt compelled to question how could he propose such a thing while India was still dependent, because Bhaktisiddhanta Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami had instructed these two young boys, or these two young men who visited him, to go all over the world, preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. But now Abhay says, we are colonized. We are under British rule. How are we going to do that? Abhay struck a boldness. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati replied in a quiet, deep voice that Krishna consciousness didn't have to wait for change in Indian politics, nor was it dependent on who ruled. Krishna consciousness was so important, so exclusively important, that it could not wait. And it was this statement that convinced Abhay that this was going to be his spiritual master. And at that point, Abhay had never forgotten to worship Krishna and his teachings in the Bhagavad Gita. And at that point, everyone in the room just felt that presence, that now Abhay was won over by Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. So everybody was convinced that this was a true sadhu. So it was late. Abhay and Naren had began talking with him for more than 2 hours. One of the brahmacharis gave them each a bit of prasadam in their open palms, and they rose gratefully and took their leave. They walked down the stairs and onto the street. The night was dark. Here and there a light was burning, and there were some shops opened. Abhay pondered in great satisfaction what he had just heard. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's explanation of the independence. Their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Radhanath ki. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's explanation of the independence movement as a temporary, incomplete cause had made a deep impression on him. He felt himself less a nationalist and more a follower of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. He also thought that it would have been better if he were not married. This great personality was asking him to preach. He could have immediately joined, but he was married and had to leave his family, and that would be an injustice. Walking away from the ashram, Naren turned to his friend. So Abhay, what was your impression? What do you think of him? He's wonderful, replied Abhay. The message of Lord Chaitanya is in the hands of a very expert person. Srila Prabhupada, I accepted him as my spiritual master immediately, not officially, but in my heart. I was thinking that I had met a very nice, saintly person. And that was the transcript from Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita on the first meeting of Srila Prabhupada and his guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhlishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadanti Swampadantikam Vandeyaham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Ragunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vicharakanvitamscha
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Nridhamna Swami Iti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Prashadine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskyacha Desatarine. Once again, welcome to the Sunday Love Feast program here at Sri Sri Radha Radhanath. I pray for blessings so that I may speak some words pleasing to the Acharyas and the Vaishnavas and their Lordship Sri Sri Radha Radhanath. So this year is a very, very important year as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and we celebrate the birth anniversary of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And as you can see, we've just read from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, which is a book that records all of Srila Prabhupada's engagements in his lifetime. For those of you who are new to ISKCON and who may be sitting here for the first time, Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And his guru is up on our screen, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Now, if you see at the bottom of that image, this year has actually been endorsed by UNESCO, a branch of the United Nations, to celebrate and honor the 150th birth anniversary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Now, many, as Abhay here in the Lilamrita was speculating, he says, no, there's so many sadhus out there. There's so many swamis out there. There's so many people that go around, and as it's described here that in Abhay's childhood, he witnessed his father, Gaur Mohan De, who was Srila Prabhupada's father, invite so many sadhus home. And because he was pious, because Gaur Mohan De was pious, he didn't differentiate. As long as this person wore a saffron robe looking like a sannyasi, he welcomed him. And I think much of our culture says we need to be respectful to those who are saintly. But when it comes to Vedic tradition, and Srila Prabhupada has given us the intelligence to question, and how do we know who is, in inverted commas, the word bona fide spiritual master? Who is not cheating us? And the world is led, I do not want to even go into it, but as the Kali Yuga is progressing, even in terms of government, even in terms of politics, we need to be mindful to say who is genuinely doing the right thing. So here too, back in the day, there were so many Babajis, there were so many sadhus, there were so many people clad in saintly cloth. And I'm just taking myself back to a time when I was at the Mahakumbha Mela. And this was in 1990s, that Mahakumbha Mela I had gone to, 1999. And we had gone to the banks of the river Yamuna, and the Mahakumbha Mela occurs once in every 12 years. And I was a first year campus student. That is why I'm figuring out the dates. When did I finish matric? And then the next year I had gone with my dad. And we had gone to the confluence of the meeting point of the Ganges, the Yamuna, and the Sarasvati rivers. And on that bank, there's millions of people, literally. And I'm just thinking back in my mind's eye, I can actually visualize it, that I'm standing there as this first year campus students with millions of people from all over the world. And so many people were dressed as sadhus. So many had these long matted hair, many of them the beads around their necks, People were carrying, long beards, dressed in not much clothes, right? And walking, and there was a specific time that we had to go and bathe in that river. That was the meeting time. That was a special time to bathe. So everyone was heading there. And me as a young 19-year-old, 18-year-old, I think, was amongst the crowds. And I can clearly remember when, as I'm reading this to you and sharing this with you today, and Srila Prabhupada had that skepticism because of the thick and fast saintly bodies that occur in India. But whereas he challenged Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati had won him over. But let me tell you why. Why was Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati special? And why are we seated here celebrating his life? Because it is 150 years of his birth anniversary. And when is his birth anniversary? This Thursday, the 29th of February. So all across the world, it is being billed by the United Nations to celebrate this. Why should we celebrate? Is he an ordinary man? The United Nations, the government of India, the governing body commission of ISKCON has taken this year to say, well, we are going to celebrate the birth anniversary, 150th birth anniversary of the great Acharya of ISKCON, the Swami of our founder Acharya. And let me tell you why he is so special. So on the screen, you can see Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and that was the father of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Now, this picture may be looking familiar to you, right? Okay, because it is a part of our Guru Parampara. What is our Parampara? Our Parampara links. It creates that link from one to the other to the other. So there's no missing link. So here we find ourselves coming back to that point of skepticism. When we ask, there's the Vedas, Lord Krishna came, right, 5,000 years ago, spoke to Arjuna, gave us the Bhagavad Gita. And now we have the copy of the Bhagavad Gita says Bhagavad Gita as it is, because there's so many versions of it. But Srila Prabhupada has authenticated this version of the Bhagavad Gita. And there's the link. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is the father of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, and his good wife, the mother of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, Bhagavati Devi. This is the family unit of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. He was a part of 10 children, but he was very, very special for so many reasons, and we will share why now. So this is Bimal Prasad, the little boy of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, right? This is him when he was a little boy. And of course, he was given the name upon birth as Bimal Prasad, and upon initiation, then he became known as Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati was one of 10 children born to Bhaktivinoda, a great Vaishnava teacher in the disciplic line of Lord Chaitanya himself. And they lived in a very, although Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta or Bimal Prasad's father, was a great magistrate at that time, they lived a very humble life. He was a sibling amongst 10 others. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was engaged as a prominent deputy magistrate and also served as the superintendent of the Jagannath temple in Jagannath Puri. So that's the famous temple of Lord Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. That's where they resided. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a famous magistrate. He was almost like a governor. And I was reading, His Holiness Giriraj Swami explains it so nicely in terms of the stature of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the 1800s. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a magistrate in India. It was a huge thing. He was a governor. And in today's society, if we look at our politicians, okay, we are skeptical. We don't really give them that much of attention as it used to be, right? But back in the day, especially during British rule, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a great designation as magistrate in court. And he worked tirelessly. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also worked tirelessly to spread the teachings of Mahaprabhu. And he then went on to encourage his son, who is Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati or Bhimal Prasad, to say, you have to take on this mission as well. So when on 6th of February 1874, Bhaktisiddhanta was born to Bhakti Vinod and Bhagavati Devi in Jagannath Puri, the Vaishnavas considered him the answer to his father's prayer, because Bhakti Vinod Thakur was trying in his capacity as a magistrate, as a governor, to spread the mission of Mahaprabhu. But he was praying, I need somebody to assist me. I have only a limited capacity as one person. And then when the son was born, everybody thought that Bhaktisiddhanta was the answer. Interesting fact, he was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck and draped across his chest like the sacred threads worn by a Brahmin. So that already, and remember in India, they are very big into astrology. And they're very big into the birth time of a child and, the universe, how the planets were situated at that time, and so on. And so astrologers normally come once the child is born to give a reading about this child's forecast, future. And one of the things that they picked up with Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati was the umbilical cord was around his neck and it was draped like how a Brahman thread would be. Another interesting fact about his childhood was, as you know, they were living in Jagannath Puri, and if you visited Puri, you know that, or if you've seen the Rath Yatras now on YouTube or online in the month of June, right? The carts of Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra go out onto the streets. And what happened is, Bhimal Prasad was a little boy, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur was a magistrate. He also looked after the Jagannath temple in Puri. And so when the Jagannath cart was coming down the road, and if you watch these videos, go back and look if you haven't already, you will see that there's also thousands and thousands and thousands of people who cram the street to take darshan on that Rath Yatra day, when the Lord comes out of his temple in Puri. So if you go back in time and just visualize this, you would find that this cart of Lord Jagannath was passing down the street, and Bhagavati Devi, Bhimal Prasad's mother, had her baby son with her. And being a governor's wife, she took the opportunity, right? Extended his arms out, and the garland fell upon this child's body. Seeing that the priest chanted the names of Hari and told the child's mother that the boy would certainly become a great devotee one day, when Bhakti Vinod learned that the garland had fallen on his son, he realized that this boy was going to assist him in preaching the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So by the time Bhimal Prasad was 7 years old, he had memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita, and he could explain the verses as well. And his father then began to train him in proofreading, printing, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur's, who was Bhimal Prasad's father, he had then taken up a publication upon his own will. Because remember, he wanted to spread the word of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he started writing a book, and we still have it today, The Harmonist. And in that way, he, as young as Bhimal Prasad being 7, now think a 7-year-old is either, I'm thinking, grade 1. To put it in our terms. And in grade 1 right now, we are learning. What are we learning in grade 1? Perhaps basic maths. We're learning letter formation. We're learning to write our names and surnames and maybe one proper paragraph. That's where we should be in term 1, which is now for the 7-year-old. Right shapes, colors, all of that. And that would be our assessment. Whereas we have 7-year-old Bhimal Prasad, who has memorized the Bhagavad Gita, would be able to explain it as well. And now he's assisting his father, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in terms of actually editing and proofreading some scriptural works. So this is definitely a saintly child. When Siddhanta Sarasvati Thakur was 26, his father, understanding the mind of his son, guided him to take initiation. Now, according to tradition, a father cannot really initiate the son. There's a bloodline link there already. So, in order to actually take initiation in terms of the Vedic or the Vaishnav Sampradaya, he needed to find another bona fide spiritual master, because your father is your guru anyway, right? So that is there already. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, come now, you are 26 and it's time for you to actually take official initiation. So he had pointed his son, Bhimal Prasad, to Gorkishore Das Babaji. And Gorkishore Das Babaji is on our screen. And he lived a very, very strict life. So, yet again, he was a proper sadhu in every way as well. And he was a renounced Vaishnav saint. He lived beneath a tree near the bank of the Ganges and wore abandoned clothes of the dead bodies as a waistband. Because remember, the Ganges River and the dead bodies are taken on a palanquin in India, either actually just burnt on the banks of the Ganges or the Yamuna, and then the remains are disposed into the water. So Gorkishore Das Babaji, living under a tree near the Ganges River, had worn the clothes from those who were deceased. Generally, he ate plain rice soaked in Ganges water, garnished with chili and salt, and sometimes he utilized discarded earth and clay pots after properly washing them, and then he cooked rice in them, offered it to Krishna, and then he took prasad. So those clay pots, if ever you've been to India, you would know that there's many of these young people, especially in the banks of the Yamuna, Ganges, waiting for you to sell you a little leaf with flour, camphor, as an offering to the Ganges. A lot of people come to India, to the banks of the Ganges, Yamuna, to also with clay pots to offer the ashes of the deceased. So here Gorkishore Das Babaji used those clay pots to cook his rice. Some very significant point that I did not mention in Bhimal Prasad's childhood, when he was about 4 years old. Now this is Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, right, as a child. When he was 4 years old, it was mango season in India. And many of you may know this. It was mango season in India, and as a 4-year-old, he decided, hey, I want a piece of mango. And so what he did was he took the mango and he ate it. And when his father had seen this, his father chastised him. His father reprimanded him and says, listen, did you offer that? You did not offer that to Krishna first. So, how can you eat that? Because we only take prasad. And that's not prasad because it's not offered. And at that point, that 4-year-old Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati, or that Bhimal Prasad at 4 years old, had then claimed he will never eat mango again. And therefore, till the day he died, he never, or left his body, never took mango in his entire life from the 4-year-old. So even when we are offering prasad on the altar for special occasions and so on, mangoes are something that are generally not offered to Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And that showed from that age his dedication to actually following the word of his father, who followed in such a powerful manner, the spirit of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So coming back to Gorkishore Das Babaji, he went and he approached him when he was 26 years old, and he said, you know what, Gorkishore Das Babaji, I would like to seek shelter. Please accept me as a disciple. And he went, and Gorkishore Das Babaji was also very aloof in terms of giving any initiation. He was very strict in terms of who he would accept as a disciple. And then at that point he said, no, I need to get some approval from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself before I initiate you. And remember, as we can see now, as I'm going to call it a story, as this pastime unfolds, we can see that everyone was very serious about this. From our description here in Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, Srila Prabhupada was serious about who will he accept as a spiritual master. So too, when Gaurkishore Das Babaji was going to initiate Bhimal Prasad, he said, hold on, I need to seek permission from Lord Chaitanya as to who I initiate in this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So he went to to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he asked him, and he didn't ask him, and he 3 times Bhimal Prasad went back to his spiritual master Gaurkishore Das Babaji and he says, Gurudev, have you sought permission for me? And Gaurkishore Das Babaji said, no, I have forgotten. So it was after Lord Chaitanya's disappearance, in that period of darkness. There was a period of darkness. Now remember, in the world, if we have to look at in terms of like World War I, and then it comes down to a period of darkness. And then we have something that was called the Renaissance era. Do you recall that term, Renaissance? And the word Renaissance means rebirth. Right? Because after war, after degradation, after sadness, everything, the world is in a very dark space. So too, when Lord Chaitanya disappeared from this planet, the world was in a very, very dark place. The Lord himself has left the earth planet. And everybody felt that there was a very, very low energy in the universe. And bhakti had choked and practically dried up. At the end of that period, it was when Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhimal Prasad's father, Gaurkishore Das Babaji, and then the initiated Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati decided we needed to push this preaching movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's when he was initiated, and he took this up very, very seriously. So as I am likening it for us in that period of what we can know and understand, in the Renaissance period, for us, that time was a rebirth after Mahaprabhu had left this world. It was then that Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati wrote a number of books and had published it at that point. In 1905, Siddhanta Sarasvati took a vow to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 1 billion times, residing in Mayapur in a grass hut near the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. He chanted the mantra day and night. He cooked rice once a day in an earthen pot and ate nothing more. He slept on the ground, and when the rainwater leaked through the grass ceiling, he sat beneath an umbrella chanting. And he had then completed that vow of chanting the Mahamantra 1 billion times. That was the potency that he had. Bhaktivinoda Thakur passed away in 1914 of the day of Gadadhar Pandit's disappearance. Now, all of these saintly persons that we are describing today is linked to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Remember, Mahaprabhu had come down as an incarnation of Lord Krishna just over 500 years ago. He was the most recent incarnation here to spread the word of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So all these acharyas, all these saintly people that we are, that souls that we are describing, attempting to describe and glorify this afternoon, are all linked to the Sampradaya. And it was then that the 6 Goswamis that we see on the altar, when the altar opens in a few minutes' time, I would invite you to look now. Sometimes we stand and we just look, and Radha and Krishna are so beautiful. Mahaprabhu is standing there with his raised arms. Okay, we've got the small deities, the Utsav deities of Radha Radhanath. They're beautiful as well. We've got Giriraj that we focus on as well. Then there's Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati and Prabhupada. That's all that we look at. How often do we take in everything that's on our altar? And it is there for a reason, because these are the saints, these are the acharyas of the Vaishnava tradition. We worship them because they have given us the knowledge, and this disciplic succession is unbroken. That's a topic for another time, where we can go back and we can actually link from the top Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, Vyasadeva, right down to our gurus today. And the governing body commission is very, very implicit in terms of Srila Prabhupada's position in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In every temple and in every center around the world, Srila Prabhupada's deity will be there to welcome you. Undoubtedly, there is a set standard and a set regulation. Would we have that if this person was just an ordinary person? No, because Srila Prabhupada was not ordinary. Was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur ordinary? No. He is on our altar at every single ISKCON temple around the world. That is the regulation, that is the standard. And why so? Because these saintly people have given us the wisdom to be here today. If it was not for these acharyas, what would our lives be like? So he published the following periodicals on the Suddha Bhakti in different languages. You can see there's a Bengali version, there's English, there's Hindi, there's so many different titles of writing. He was an academic himself, following in the footsteps of his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And thereafter, he was actually very, very serious about writing. A few days before his disappearance, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati called his foremost disciples and showered his blessings upon all his devotees. He gave them the following instruction. And as we all know, an instruction from your spiritual master is very serious. An instruction from your spiritual master is taken as gospel. It's like, how do I say this in just very simple terms? It's like following the rules of your teacher. Unfortunately, today, not many follow the rules of their teachers. But in Vedic times, in Vedic Sampradaya, following the rule of your spiritual master, that's Guruji. And this was his instruction. With the utmost enthusiasm, preach the message of Rupa Raghunath. Our ultimate goal is to become a speck of dust, touching the lotus feet of the followers of Rupa Goswami. All of you remain united in allegiance to the spiritual master, Asarya Vigra, in order to satisfy the senses of the transcendental entity of non-dual knowledge. Do not give up the worship of Hari, even amidst hundreds of dangers, hundreds of insults, or hundreds of persecutions. And that was the instruction before he left his body. Do not become unenthusiastic upon seeing that the majority of people in this world are not accepting the message of Krishna's sincere worship. Never give up on the glorification of Krishna's topics. They are your own personal bhajan and your very all and all. Being humble like a blade of grass and tolerant like a tree, constantly glorifying Hari. And with that, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati left his body in the early hours of the 1st of January 1937. And to date, his samadhi is available for us to go to Mayapur and worship. There's YouTube, there's some videos online, and if you Google, you will find these beautiful documentaries actually sharing even the pastimes of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And as you can see here, these are our acharyas. These are our great saints. There's Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the father of Bimal Prasad. There's Gorkishore Das Babaji, who is the guru, the guru of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. Then there's Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, who is the guru of the founder acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So it's a beautiful, beautiful link, and it's an honor for us to be able to be living in this era where we can participate in a celebration of the 150th birth anniversary of such a great acharya, such a great scholar, such a great, great devotee of Mahaprabhu who went all out to pass this teaching that we could sit here and we could enjoy today. And one of the quotes that I will share with you: if I could perfectly deliver even one soul back home, back to Godhead, I would think my mission, propagating Krishna consciousness, to be successful. And that was the mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Now, for me personally, when I was thinking about Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, one of the many, many questions that I've been asked in my service area over the years is, why, who's our Acharya, who's our founder? A lot of guests come in and see the deity of Prabhupada, right? Another thing that I've been asked when dealing with the media is, especially over Rath Yatra time, we always have to explain what Rath Yatra is, a festival of chariots, and it's coming up in a month or so, in about a month. So we always have to explain, we've got these big carts going down the streets of Durban, there's pomp, there's festivities, there's dancing, chanting, and we give the history. And one of the things is that comes to the fore is that our founder Acharya came to South Africa in 1975. And next year, we are as the South African National Council, we are already planning next year is going to be 2025. So let's link the dates. Do some maths with me. Can you? Right? I just said Srila Prabhupada came here in 1975 to South Africa. Next year is going to be 2025. How many years will that be? I can't hear you. 50, right? Thank you for the maths. So it's going to be 50 years next year that Srila Prabhupada would have set foot in South Africa. We are already, with the blessings of the Vaishnavas, with you all, planning a huge celebration for us in South Africa. It's a big year for us next year. I don't know whether I'm launching this right now, but something to look forward to. It's a big year for us as South Africans in South Africa. Next year, we're going to be celebrating 50 years of Srila Prabhupada being in South Africa. Let's hear it. Hare Krishna! So that's going to be the 50th anniversary celebration across all centers in South Africa, because the story behind this is that Srila Prabhupada came here, 1975, 50 years ago almost, right? He came, he went to City Hall. We'll go through all that. Next year we have a whole lineup of different events, glorifying, educating people who Srila Prabhupada is. That's so important for people of South Africa to know that ISKCON was a part of nation building even before our democracy. And who do we owe all of this to? Our acharyas that are not here anymore. So it is our duty, it is our profound duty to take this forward. For their hard work and effort cannot go in vain. It is up to us now to strengthen the bond of this nation building. To strengthen this bond, we talk in South Africa, South Africa's democracy. And I talk this because I meet people from various sects, from various government levels, due to being an interfaith dialogue and discussions. Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai. So when we look at Srila Prabhupada coming here in 1975, we also honor that Srila Prabhupada gave us two instructions. One being to have this beautiful temple built, and the other to have Rath Yatra festival in the streets of Durban. Now, why did Srila Prabhupada come to South Africa? He came under the instruction of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. Because upon meeting him in that first extract from the Leelamrita that I had shared with you at the beginning of our discussion, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta gave Naren and Abhay that instruction before even knowing these boys. He said, go out there, go to the world and preach Krishna consciousness. Go out there, go to the world and preach the name of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let everybody hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And at that time, Abhay then challenged his spiritual master, remember, and he said, but we are in the British colony. How can I even go to another country and preach? But what has happened? What has happened? Dear Vaishnavas, what has happened? That UNESCO, the United Nations, are now celebrating the 150th birth anniversary of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. So when Prabhupada questioned his guru in that room. And he asked him, but this is a British colony. I can't go and preach outside of India. I'm an Indian man. How can I go and preach outside? It's like South Africa, us being under apartheid. We don't have a voice. But today, 150 years later, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur is recognized across the globe. It is a global anniversary celebration. India is also going to be printing different sorts of memorabilia by the government of India, Narendra Modi. He's going to be actually endorsing this. It's already done. In Mauritius, I had a call from the zonal supervisor about 2 weeks ago, Haridev Das there. They've got rights from the Mauritius Broadcast Corporation, and they will be playing a documentary of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur on Mauritian TV. South Africa, we are negotiating with the SABC to do the same. So across the globe, we are celebrating this wonderful life of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And his appearance anniversary is this Thursday. So when we observe the Arti in a few moments, I invite you to take a moment, appreciate our Sampradaya. Look on the altar. They may be frames. You may just look at it as a picture, and there may be a frame with a garland on. And you say, well, that's a picture. But that picture has changed our lives. Has it not, dear devotees? All those acharyas have done their work to change our lives. The world is currently in turmoil, and it will be forever so as the age of Kali continues. It's out of our hands in terms of what government does. But what's in our hands is spreading the holy name of the Lord. So if we want to celebrate this in a profound way, let's do our part. Let's do our bit. I will surely be trying with the blessings of the deities of Srila Prabhupada, trying my bit to have Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, his glories, all over our media. We will try our best to have radio cover the special event, the special occasion. We will try our best to let the masses out there know of our leaders, because our leadership has the supreme knowledge. And with that note, I'm not sure if we're going to be playing the clip or we go into Arthi. We can go, I think. The next time, we have a video clip that we had lined up for you. And maybe when we have a part 2 of a discussion, it's going to be a year-long celebration. And if we have a part 2, we can actually share that clip with you as well. But if you feel inspired, and I hope you do, then go and look at the documentaries online that celebrate the life of His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. Their Lordship Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, our Sampradaya, our disciplic succession ki, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bom. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Such an enlightening and engaging class. Thank you, Krsangi Radhe Mataji. So this Thursday, as Mataji mentioned, is the appearance anniversary of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we'll be having 2 programs. The first one will be a Kirtan program on Wednesday here at Temple starting at 6 p.m. Then the next program will be on Thursday on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day, and that will be a midday program which will include class by His Grace Jai Sachinandan Prabhu. So you can keep an eye out on all our social media platforms for information, further information about these programs. Then our next big festival, as Mataji mentioned, the countdown is on. We're almost exactly 1 month to the date for which festival? Rath Yatra 2024. So we look forward to you volunteering for this festival as well. And remember, it is an internationally recognized festival. So when you go out for Prashadam, look out for our Rath Yatra ambassadors, and they can help you to sign up to volunteer your time and devotional service towards this wonderful Rath Yatra festival. So devotees, today's Sunday Love Feast Prashadam has been prepared by the Krishna Prema Namahata. So Thank you to the wonderful devotees of the Krishna Prema Namahatha for today's lovely feast. On the note of prasadam, a reminder to please be mindful of where you park so that we don't obstruct vehicles that need to come from the Food for Life kitchen to bring our prasadam up to the white marquee. Reminder also that prasadam is only served at the white marquee and only from 1 to 1:45 p.m. Also, we get very excited, as we should be, to take our prasadam, to honor prasadam, but please be mindful of the elderly. Let's give way to our elderly and to our mothers with little children. And also, in all our excitement, let's not cut the queue to get our prasadam. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, Thursday, and next week Sunday. And thank you very much for attending today's Sunday Love Feast program. We'll continue with Aarti and Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Hiti Namine Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pasatyadi Satarine Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Pasatyadi Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadharda Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadharda Shivasati Gaura Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadharda Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadharda Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radha Nath, Radha, Radha Nath, Radhe. Jaya Radha, Radha Nath, Radha, Radha Nath, Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Parahamsa Parivrakshacharya Sutra Sata His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Parahamsa Parivrakshacharya Sutra Sata His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. वृंदावन धाम की जय. मायापुर धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. यमुना माई की जय. गंगा माई की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. तुलसी महारानी की जय. सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Narasingaya. Pralada Lada Dainge. Hiranya Kashipurvaksha. Srila Tankana Kalae. Ito Nishingo Parato Nishingo. Yato Yato Yamita To Nishingo. Pahe Nishingo Hirdaye Nishingo. Narashingamadem Saranam Prapade. Narashingamadem Saranam Prapade. Kava kava kamalavare nakam Adbhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipur Danubringa Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Nishingadev, 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 Jaya Nishingadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. Shri Nishingadev Bhagavan ki, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gaura Premanande.